If you want to mute when you're not reading and unmute when you are reading, because we we found it works better that way. And yeah, this is Poets Out Loud. It's December, and who knew we'd still be doing all this? But we are, and I can see there's some of us getting into the festive spirit already. The antlers are a nice touch there. Cool. I I don't have any antlers, so I'll just have to use imaginary ones. Okay, cool. I learned a new phrase today. Um, IRL, which stands for in real life, and I thought that was an interesting little tidbit. So it inspired me to come up with this. And I also this week Bob Dylan. I saw the headline said Bob Dylan sold out, and I thought, well, he's sold out like loads of venues and things because he's quite well, it's popular, And then I realised he sold all his songs for, was it a six-figure sum or something? I'm thinking of selling my songs for a six-figure sum of about, well, 6p might be more accurate, but here we go. This is IRL, and it goes something like this. Digital living, it's reaching oh so far. Now they're meeting in your kitchen, your bedroom, and your car. Technological tentacles crisscrossing around the globe. When fatigue begins to set in, enter frontime mode. Once all this we did, it was just the way we lived. IRL. It ain't no living hell. They're dancing on the tables, they're dancing on the chairs, they're dancing on the ceiling, and they're dancing on the stairs. Once all this we did, it was just the way we lived. IRL. It ain't no living hell. They're writing down new stories, new verses, and new forms, working in this headspace where they've never been before. They're writing down their riddles, working on their endings, beginnings, and their middles. Once all this we did, it was just the way we lived. IRL. It ain't no living hell. Don't matter if it's going wrong. You say your words and you sing along. Your tunes will play no matter what the weather. Your online choirs harmonize apart together. Once all this we did, it was just the way we lived. IRL, it ain't no living hell. Once all this we did, it was just the way we lived. IRL, it ain't no living hell. And there you go. Thank you very much. And David.
Right. There's a bit of a preamble to this one, I'm afraid. As I think I told you last time I was with you, in September, October, I did a pilgrimage from Glasgow to the Isle of Whithorn in South Galloway. It was 2 weeks walking from one to the other. And if you know Dumfries and Galloway, if you've been along the A75 to Cairnryan or Stranraer, you know the town of Glenluce. If you know the town of Glenluce, please put a hand up. If you don't, it doesn't really matter. This poem is about, thank you, George, about Glenluce. Now, I'm a bit embarrassed that there's a genuine Scot sitting there because Glenluce is a small town in Scotland, and it has to do with the conversation that I had with a couple of Scots people. A friend of mine and I, the one that I was doing this pilgrimage with, walked one morning from New Luce, which is a bit further north, down to Glenluce to catch a bus to Isle of Whithorn because that leg was too long to walk in a day. So we decided to chicken out by that time and catch a bus. Now, I knew that I could catch a bus from Glenluce to Isle of Whithorn. We arrived there, and there were two gentlemen in high-vis vests, and they were working or not working on a building site. So I approached them and greeted them, and I said, I think I'm right in saying I can get a bus from here to Isle of Whithorn. And they looked at me. One of them said, in a very broad Scottish accent, which I shan't attempt to replicate, yes, up there where the sign is. So I looked up there where the sign was, and I said, the one that says bus stop. That's the one, he said. And I said, well, that's obvious, isn't it, really, I suppose, except to an Englishman. And he said, you're no English. He said, I'm British, like they are. And I'd never heard a Scotsman say that he's British before. And I said, oh, really? He said, we're all Scots here. He said, you won't find anybody in Dumfries and Galloway who admits to being a nationalist. So I said, oh, well, you're not a fan of Miss Sturgeon then? No, he said very vehemently. And I found this rather refreshing. Anyway, he features in this poem, which is called Glen Luce. I felt very sorry for Glen Luce. I felt that somebody ought to perhaps give myself a mission of rejuvenating it or something. It's a sad little place, which is a pity. Houses stand with blind-eyed windows, flaking paint, grime-covered walls. Cafes and barbers' shops are closed for the time being. COVID has depressed this town, yet people stop and chat to two figures out of kilter with the scene, sitting on a bench, eating bananas. Pilgrims on their way, seeking Ninian on the Whithorn Way. The shop is open, its cheerful blue and yellow front matched by the merry greeting of the person at the till, who gives us lids and milk for the hot drinks which we bought. Two workmen, proud to be British more than Scots, pronounce proud defiance of Miss Sturgeon. We're all British here. But will Glen Luce survive? A backwater, a passing loop off the A75, struggling to remain alive. Dead-fronted houses, no longer open businesses tell a sorry tale. Has Miss Sturgeon been here? Does she know Glen Luce and other towns that face a similar fate? I was looking at this before she started, and I wonder whether I finished it, actually. I'm not sure. It sort of has an unendedness about it. But I hope that the fate of Glen Luce doesn't have an unendedness. I hope that it will go on. It's potentially a lovely little place, and it must have been once so busy when it was not on a passing loop off the A75. It must have been a stopping place on the way to or from the ferry across to Belfast.
Cool. That's great.
Oh, thank you. Whoops, I've lost you.
Well, we can see and hear you, and I guess that you could even make a book out of all these different places you stopped at on the pilgrim.
Well, it is ongoing, in fact.
Yeah.
It is part of a book I'm working on at the moment.
Cool.
Ah, got you back again. There we are. Oh, hooray. Nice to see you all.
And you. Fantastic. Okay. Hazel, another genuine Scottish person in the room who's maybe British.
Yes. Can you hear me all right?
Fantastic, yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Because for some reason my work computer requires headphones or nobody can hear me. But anyway, I wrote this quite a while ago now, but obviously back when we, in the early days, I guess, of probably the first lockdown. So I called it The Rhythm of the Days Are Disrupted. The rhythm of the days are disrupted, syncopated differently. Spending time with Russell Brand and Brenny Brown, still in my pyjamas at 9 o'clock, so far removed from the routines of my workaday normality. They say after this, all will be different. We will never go back. It may be true, but humankind likes to be comfortably numb, particularly in the wake of trauma, and this collective trauma is cataclysmic, yet strangely beautiful in its enforced slowing, halting of lives. For the lucky ones safe at home, the less lucky ones live lives of valor, courageously supporting survival for the rest of us. Russell and Brenny talk of connection, how to facilitate connection with large numbers of strangers, Oddly, what they describe resonates, yet here I am in splendid isolation. That mythical ivory tower that appealed so much still does. Aware that we are connected in layers, we are all in this together, is misleading, does not embrace the nuances, the vast gulfs that separate many of us, takes into account only that we face the virus as a race, as humanity. Existing on this planet, we have collectively disrespected, plundered, abused, that we must daily take precautions we are unused to, washing everything that crosses our threshold, including ourselves, a reversal of our usual routine, well, unless you have a mucky job. We must cultivate an acute awareness of a microscopic curl of RNA nestling in its protective spiky envelope that forms its distinctive corona, stirring anxiety configurations, whirlpooling in our physiology. Collectively, we are exposed differently to vastly differing viral loads. Collectively, we are dependent on professional compassion. Collectively, we are in the hands of politicians whose backgrounds are counties away, light years away from our everyday. What equips these self-appointed elite who persuaded a percentage to elect to take decisions that benefit the many rather than the few that support their status quo? Where are the track records that imbue an apt confidence in their ability to choose compassion over capitalism? This may be the biggest reassessment we should take beyond the virus's impact on humanity. Already, thousands have perished needlessly. Thousands more have recovered, something we forget if we even consider it because we are vulnerable. We need faith in each other, in ourselves. The path towards that looks different for each of us, but let us not be gaslighted in this trauma's aftermath. Let us retain clarity. Let us hold others to account. Those in power who ignored preventability at such staggering cost to our society. Not very cheery, really, is it? Sorry about that.
I have a couple of questions for you, Hazel.
Yeah.
One is, who is Brenny Brown? Never heard of him or her.
She's a writer and speaker and kind of if you put her into YouTube, you'll get up a couple of TED Talks that she's done. I think she's done a lot of psychology research.
And the other thing, are you a Pink Floyd fan?
Why? Yeah, I am, but
you
why?
Comfortably Numb, and that's
yes.
one of their songs. And when are you going to go into politics? Because you seem to be doing a good talk there for getting a vote, I would say. Don't know what party you'd be, but there you go. A weird and wonderful party, probably.
Yes, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Be better than any of the others, so there we go. Well done on that one.
Thank you.
How long does that take you, Hazel?
Sorry?
How long does that take you to write?
I'm not very sure. It kind of, I suppose it I don't know. It's one of those, something must have kind of triggered the rant, if you like.
Yeah, I ask because your use of language is superb. Your cadences and things, absolutely beautiful. It's
Thank
a magic
you.
piece of writing.
Thank you.
I was going to say, welcome back, because we've missed you. It's been ages since you've been at SpeakEasy. And,
Thank you.
It's wonderful to have you sharing stuff with us again. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. That was great.
Okay. Thanks.
You've set the bar very high now.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's great. It's wonderful. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you've seen any of the recordings from the Zoom speakeasies we've been doing, but yeah, there was a lot of anger in in the early days, and that sort of carried on to now. Yeah, the response. Oh, we had quite a debate. I think it was April time when we were saying everybody seems to know what they're doing except the government.
Ah. Mm.
Which is very true.
Yes.
But there we are. George, we'll come to you and see what you've got to share.
Right. Well, I wasn't actually going to read this, but Hazel's, I dug it out. I wrote it fairly recently in response to a prompt, which was actually Courage mon brave in my cod French accent. But this is, so I think it follows on. Rage, rage against. Incontinence of sterile beds and iron sheets lie passing minutes of silent bravery, where hope and fear and love and dying meets. Visitors watching every breath, where laughter greets the useless joke, where bodies turn to treachery, incontinence of sterile beds and iron sheets. Corridors wandered by a longing for the streets to feel the wondrous blood and butchery, where hope and fear and love and dying meets. In prisons of the soul, where each retreats, girds with broken shield against death's archery, incontinence of sterile beds and iron sheets, they talk of battles, of victories, and defeats. In truth, this is not war, but slavery, where hope and fear and love and dying meets, where time is stolen, where each completes his struggled way across a furrowed scenery, incontinence of sterile beds and iron sheets, where hope and fear and love and dying meets.
Yeah, thank you very much. Powerful stuff. Yeah. Rage, rage, rage.
Yeah, for some reason when the prompt came up, I couldn't get Dylan Thomas's Rage, Rage, do not go silent into that dead night. So I ended up being a Villanelle.
Yeah, that's great. Cool. All right. Roz, we're with you.
Hi. Well, I'm about to lower the tone.
Good.
My brain's not really functioning still, so I just called this. It's about the only thing I've written new. It's called Not Even a Limerick. I know my name is Roz, but that's about all, because when my brain popped, everything stopped. And that is it. It's not even a limerick.
Wow, yeah. That's good. And I hope you're feeling better as well, because I know you've had a rough couple of weeks.
I'm just not very all together at all. I forget about my memory's gone berserk.
Yeah.
So I'm going very weird. I'll do my best to be polite.
Oh, that's all right. You'll fit right in, I think. Cool. Val, what have you got?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, just.
Just any better? Right. Wrote this one after the American election. It's called Trump Trumped. He'd make America great again. How could they refuse? To Donald it was very plain. He just couldn't lose. He thought the winning hand, he thought he held the ace. He didn't seem to understand he might not win this race. He didn't have the winning card. He found that he'd been trumped. And then he found it very hard to accept that he'd been dumped. He said he'd take it to the court. He claimed it was all fraud. He couldn't entertain the thought that he was not adored. They say pride comes before a fall. You can't blame everyone. And even if he sacks them all, he'll very soon be gone.
Hurrah! Brilliant.
Is it me?
It's Jean, yes.
Yes, yeah, just
Follow
checking.
that, Jean.
Follow that. I'll try. This is a ballad. Well, it's supposed to be a ballad anyway. As I walked out one morning dark to take the bus to work again, I saw a nurse in scrubs and coat standing with a face of pain. She said, "We lost a man today, arrhythmia tachycardial. The doctor didn't spot the trace, infarction myocardial." The late shift went from bad to worse, 4 cancelled operations. The resus trolley that came today won't fit behind the nurses' station. The night shift charge nurse phoned in sick. The CQC are calling. Our Staten Man compliance is low, and the catering's appalling. The trouble is, the system's broke with targets like you'd never guess. I'm crying for the man we lost, but mourning for the NHS. Sorry to be so depressing.
No, no.
Can you set it to a tune, Jean?
Yes, I probably could.
Set it to a tune and make it into a proper song. That last bit could be a refrain, the morning for the NHS. It sounds like it could be a refrain.
Yeah. I may pinch a tune.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, poor old NHS. It's so much of us are reliant on it, and then they seem to get kicked when they're just when they need all the help they can get. It's getting political this evening. Okay, Ross, we're with you.
Hi everyone. Yeah, I've got this. I wrote this after the kind of last session. It kind of inspired me a wee bit, and I did a kind of few bits. But this is one of them. It's about the relationship between Scotland's national bard and my mum, and it's called "My Ma Hates Robbie Burns." Oh, there's Burns's dial. It's everywhere, in coal black and snow white in Dumfries's Square. A statue too, if you look or care. My ma doesn't. A heedful and nursed wrath to rival Blake or Plath, or one of his ain honest heroines, or infuriated specimens. One punctured lung sigh at every mention of Abby's name. Ye ne'er was Dunsey, my ma wasn't. It's queer what you can learn for whom folk despise. He's our national bard, doesn't he mean we all fall in line? My ma doesn't. Cares no for mouses or louses, no roses, no rats. Still, a ma's a ma for all of that. Along with Paul Young, Claire Baldwin for TV, and for twee power ballads, Mr. Lionel Richie. Although, so, wreck the reed and dinna be slow. Never heed the droopy neighbours, never heed the mice and men, never heed the haggis speakers, and neither the long refrain. They cry, "Heathen, how can you no be proud to be Scottish?" She says, "Ah, it's no that. I just think his stuff is pish." Thank you.
Oh, very good. That's funny. Yeah.
Does she sing Old Lang Syne at New Year? That's the question. That's one of his, but there you go.
Fair enough. Good. We're all different, aren't we? Kevin. Yes.
Ah, thanks.
I can't see you though.
Yeah, we can't. So you can tilt the screen down a little bit just so we can see.
Can't see me. Is that better?
That's
more.
A little more, yeah. It's like pantomime.
More?
Perfect.
Hooray!
Is that me? I'm there. Sorry, I'm a newcomer to all this stuff. I worked on this from this morning for a short poem, and in a way, it's a sort of thing that I do when it's like a sort of stream of consciousness, if you like. So it's in some ways it's a work in progress, because I'm trying to pick up in some ways where I was probably a year ago, and of course the COVID-19 has interrupted everything, and I'm still trying to find something that I was kind of dealing with, in a way, finding my own voice about things that I thought about before COVID-19 took over. And I think, in a way, this is a kind of work in progress. It's not long, and it might take me a bit of time to say it because I have an eye problem, which I've printed everything large so I can see it, and I've got this light. So I called it Star Time. 2 billion years, a million ways to think how all of this began. How absurd, thought Malcolm, as he climbed his apple tree. 10 grams of dust. Return to Earth, said George, burning his shirt. Iron's hot, damned iron. Dark side of the moon. A future home, or mod cons, said Sid dreamily. Where are you going? Where do you think? The co-op, it's my turn. Be an angel, Malcolm said. Something nice that we can all share. Such as, Beth replied, coming down to earth. It's all fake news. 10 times over. Seen it. You must know that. Carrots, they're nice. No plastic. Apples too. Love apples, me and you. Sid, are you coming? Bloody astronaut. It's where I'm going. Home from home. You and me, Beth, on the moon. Bloody co-op's where we're going. Chips. What about chips? George likes chips. Chips with everything. Coal. We need coal. From the moon, George. No cheese. It's all gone. Only carrots. Shelves are empty. Times are hard. Just keep digging till the end. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, cool, good stuff. Richard, we're with you.
Yeah, hi there, everyone. Well, talking about digging, I've got one here called Buried Treasure. And I was thinking that people go to enormous lengths to just gain a little, putting a huge amount of time and effort into very scant reward quite often, just for the chance of finding some buried treasure. But anyway, this is about how it goes. It's probably based on some sort of pirate movie I watched once, I think. A single pace is something to measure. 8 to the north, then 14 to the right. It's hard when hunting for buried treasure, but the gold is mine, I will take it by might. French silver, Spanish gold, jewels, maybe more. Fine golden doubloons, such a pirate's hoard. Buried so deep on some distant shore. Plunder taken by force with flashing sword. I've bought the map and I've got a compass. I'll dig it up, I'll find the chest, take the lot. I'm loath to put up with any rumpus, but in the end, X marks the spot. Thank you.
Somebody found some gold in the New Forest. It was on the news, 60 gold sovereigns, I think.
Oh, right, yeah.
And
Does
yeah,
happen.
yeah, really good in the New Forest.
And then you enter into all the legal things about what
yeah, you have to
treasure and
declare it and whatever, don't you?
Yeah.
It's like that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Jeanette, we're with you.
Okay, I'm going nostalgic tonight. It's a little poem about a setting up that I've got now. They were my nana's, and I'm sure they were her mum and dad's before her. And just remembering at Christmas, there was always a bowl of nuts with these nutcrackers laid on the top. So it's called Nutcracker. Shells sprawled on the surface, shards embed one palm. The other hand holds metal, warm metal, tasting the scent of rust-speckled steel, loose hinged and tarnished. Our trusted tool breaks woody walls over generations of anticipation, cracking, unwrapping the bittersweet kernel of Christmas. And that is that.
Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's funny how something like a nutcracker or something like that can sort of create such strong memories of different generations of Christmases and things.
And the nuts were still in the bowl in March as well.
Yeah, I think that happens quite frequently as well. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's great. Susan, what have you got for us?
Okay, well, this is from some of the writing exercises that the writers group have been doing. So Ross has possibly already seen this. Maybe Jean has too, but too bad you get it. Well, not too bad, you get to enjoy it again. So the challenge or the prompt was to write a letter to a literary character, and sort of in the style of the literature that you know are choosing to write to. So here's mine. Dear George, I hope you're having a super time away from school and are having fun with your cousins. Please give the dog a pat from me and do try not to get into too many scrapes. I've been thinking about you for a while now, and I thought I ought to tell you how simply wizard you are for asserting certain aspects of your own personality. Whether a product of the time, thwarted by expectation or perceived limitation, you provided an alternative view, an inspirational way of life for many young girls who felt trapped by the constraints of society. Gosh, listen to me, that all sounds very silly and serious and jolly complicated. But it is serious, because while transgenderism is not a new thing by any stretch of the imagination, genderqueer and gender fluid are new terms for exploring one's own identity, replacing the not particularly offensive but a bit restricted tomboy and the definitely offensive sissy or Nancy boy. And transitioning is becoming more accepted and explored with less shame than it used to be. Of course, there's still people who think their own inability to cope with a changing world gives them the right to comment archly on the content of other people's underwear, and is the benchmark for other people's comfort and mental health. But for girls who were outdoorsy, clumsy, scruffy, boyish, you gave us an example of someone dealing with it, good and bad. We shared your irritation when Burks refused to acknowledge you as a boy, and shared your triumph when mistaken for one. With no expectation to transition, we could see a life lived in the gender role of choice, with the safety net of return to cis. It gave us the mental freedom to explore. I think having absentee parents helped in a way, as we didn't have the imposition of the adult's perspective of whether you needed treatment or counselling. You could just be. I think Uncle Quentin's influence might be nowadays called into question. By today's standards, he would be seen as neglectful, with possible recreational usage. I will sign off now after that rather meaty letter, but I would like to say thank you, George. Thank you for fucking with gender. Keep your queer little self flying that pink, purple and blue flag, and save a ginger beer for me.
Very good. Send it to Enid Blyton's estate and see what they say.
Yes, I should, shouldn't I?
Yeah. Hello, Annie. Oh, you're up.
There we go. Got a speaker now.
Wow.
How you doing, everybody?
We're good.
Well,
long time no
doing
see.
well. I know. I've been a moody poet that's not written any poetry because it would all be doom and misery and
That's
whatever.
what poetry is.
Yeah, no. Well, that's not me, is it? That's not me. How y'all doing?
Good, thanks, Annie.
Hey, Richard. Hello.
You right? Cheer us up with a miserable poem. That'd be fun.
Well,
get it out your system. That's the best thing.
I don't want to change how people perceive me, so I've come as per usual with no poetry whatsoever.
Oh.
Why change? Why change a good thing?
Yeah.
It's really good to have you because we've missed you.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I've missed you guys, and thank you, Phil, for hosting. And it's been an exciting year. Lots of things happening, and yeah.
You can regale us with some of your tales at some point.
Yeah. I'll just say really quickly, Dad's home and he's fine, and his scars are impressive.
Oh wow! Because he had an up was it last week?
A fortnight ago, yeah. Bypass. It's pretty cool. Yeah. So yeah, he's got amazing scars, but don't ask him about them.
Because he will tell you.
Because he will tell you.
Wonderful. Well, give him our best and tell him hello from all of us. And,
yeah.
Welcome him to the Zip Up the Front Club.
Oh, yes, I like that. Who said that?
Sorry.
Yeah. I like that. The Zip Up the Front Club.
Yeah, I've had it done twice.
Oh, really? He's got a really good one on his leg as well.
Yeah, actually, funnily enough, that's the one that gives me the most problem. Anyway, we'll leave that aside. Great. I'm glad it's going well for him.
Right, I'm going to sit back and just listen. Yeah, it's nice to be back. It's been a long 6 months. So yeah, cool, awesome.
Cool.
I'm shutting up now. I'm going to turn my mic off because you know me, I won't shut up.
Oh, it's good to have you here. Cheers. Cool. All right. Fernando Smith. Hello. Good evening. How are you?
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, you're not just saying hello.
Hello. I'm saying no. I'm saying hello, and I'm wondering, do you have some magic you'd like to share with us? Some words and songs.
Alex. No, Ross. Sorry. When you spoke about Robbie Burns, it reminded me of for a number of years. I worked all across Scotland for a number of years for Shelter Scotland, the national homeless charity, and I was based in Dumfries for 12 months. And just off Irish Street, where we had an office, there's a hairdresser's, and next door there's a cafe. I think it was called the Robbie Burns Cafe because, of course, they capitalise on it, you know. But the hairdressers had in profile a picture of Robbie, and it's like a silhouette with the big bouffant. And I used to wonder if it was the favourite haircut, and people are going and ask for a Robbie Burns.
I don't think it was. I remember that shop that you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
It's a very strange thing, but yeah, it's just my mum's from Annan, and we sort of went through to Dumfries quite a lot when I was a kid. Yeah,
I've had my hair cut there.
Really?
Did you have it at Robbie Burns?
I've had my hair cut at Robbie Burns.
Yeah.
But I used to go to the White Sands Cafe. It was much better.
The White Sands Cafe, yeah. Anyway, the Robbie, but yeah, it was a kind of there was an Elvis sort of vibe going on there in profile. Anyway, this I found a bunch of poems today that from some of them are from like 2011 and 12, and I haven't looked at them since I wrote them. They're all freehand. I've got. Oh, it's about to restart. Do you want me to restart? What shall I do? It says it's almost time to restart on my screen. Does that mean anything? Oh, it's because there's an update pending.
Oh, right.
Not now, it says. So I'm completely crushed by modern technology. I found a bunch of poems, and I realised when I sort of read through them that actually the job I did in Scotland, these would have been written on the train coming home, because some of the poems reference places that I remember you can see. This one doesn't reference anywhere I could see, but I do remember it. This particular poem came as a result of mistakenly being sent on a conference for business people. And it was completely, this has happened to me several times in my professional life, being sent on the wrong stuff, wrong training and things, through no fault of my own, but it being quite productive. And this was at a business conference in Glasgow, and I wrote a whole suite of poems about this world that was alien to me. And there was a chap there who was in an annex to the main conference building. There was a martial arts sort of workshop or session going on. And there was this guy wandering about through the main conference who had a sort of judo outfit on and things. And he appeared to be chopping things kind of in midair and doing strange things. And so I remember writing this on the train. It's called Martial Arts. And some of it's in pencil, so it's not easy to see. And there seems to be a lot of crossing out, so I'll have a go. Bloke with a yoga mat, giving it Tai Chi. Chon Chui. Well-worked suntan, an expression without expression. He walks this way. He walks that way. He walks over there. He comes back again, and then he's off, wandering some more. He is a man without a journey, searching for a place to call home. Now he's eating cheesy Wotsits in the Bolton Jiu-Jitsu style. Not to be confused with Kersley Karate or Wigton Scuffle. It's not going to get better than that. I've finished. That's it. I can't do any better.
That was great. Who knew these business conferences could be that inspiring, you know?
I'll search out some more for later.
Thank you very much. Cool. All right. Unless Annie's found something you'd like to read or a tale you'd like to tell us, I'll go back to start the second round.
I have actually got a little sort of haiku,
cool.
Very quick one. It's very simply, the ripples I make as I fight to sink or swim can make tsunamis.
Wow.
That's it. That describes my last 6 months.
I think that fills your quota from the last 6 months. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, there you go. Put it all in one.
That's great.
Sorry, Phil, I had a migraine today and my eyes are just gone again. So I'll need to bow out. But thanks, everyone. That's been great. But yeah, so thanks very much. Enjoyed that.
George. Take care.
Nice to meet you, George.
Right. Yeah, no, great. It gets much better, I tell you. It really improvement's great.
What, the poetry or the migraine?
Well, no, I was more thinking about the zipping up the front, but I mean, I don't know the migraine. But I will see you around. It's been wonderful. I feel as though I'm actually in a company of Scots people, but I'm a bit worried how many people had things to say about George, and I'm away to look up myself and see whether I've been giving you all these ideas. Bye.
Bye, George.
Bye. Oh, fantastic.
Cool. Right. Yeah, that was great. That was a nice haiku. I've been working a lot with haikus recently, and that was nice. A nice change.
Yeah, I wrote a load at the start in the first lockdown on a haiku page, and I never actually wrote them in a book. They're all on Facebook, and I need to at some point go and find them all and stake my claim back on them.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so I wrote one every day, so there's a bloody lot of them. So there you go.
That was good.
I'm not saying anything else now. I'm turning the mic off.
Okay. Always good value. Good. Cool. Yeah, we've had a few pieces from right across the whole the last year, and I've got one that I remembered. It's called The Last Friendly Face Before Lockdown, and it was the last friend I saw before the lockdown. The first lockdown in England was the 23rd, wasn't it? But they sort of did an advisory lockdown a week before on the 16th of March, where they kind of said we sort of advise people not to mix. And it's like you're telling people not to do it, aren't you? But they were like, but we're not going to force you to do it. It's like, oh, and that's where the ball started rolling with all the anger towards the guidance that wasn't clear and the excellent guidance from the government, etc., etc. But anyway, this is about the last friendly face I saw before lockdown. And it goes like this. Monday, March 16th, around lunchtime. I've survived giving a poetry workshop on the theme of ambition as part of Carlisle United's mission to educate kids so they reach the top, encourage their ability to fulfill their goals, which can last a lifetime. A museum room of little people, reminded to sing happy birthday twice when washing hands. Unspoken nervousness lingers. Concern over the spreading plague. Deaths in Lombardy. Shutdowns on the continent. Our neighbours talk of restrictions and bans. We're all still uncertain about governmental plans. I head to the city centre to pay in some cash to tide me over, ever hopeful to ride out this oncoming storm. Out of the dull, overcast midday gloom, I see a familiar figure. A friendly face smiles at me a hello. Your bluest eyes twinkle and observe, as mine taking your scarf and flowing coat combo. Another charity shop gem. You dress in a style so effortlessly cool, like you've strode off a catwalk. And I know you'll have thought about it. But you'll say, oh, this old thing? I ask about your job. It's going okay, but you're still looking for something else. You ask about me. Not been well. Getting better now, I promise. Was bedridden for 4 days, and not in a good way. Oh man, you sigh, and give me a slightly stern glance, an eyebrow raised for a moment, one that says, I should look after myself better. You tell me of your project, how you ventured into an audio world, one which you're still to get to grips with. I'm eager to hear it when all's said and told. We talk of that and this, and of course about the virus. I share the horror of Italy I saw on the TV. You, the wisdom of the Stormont Assembly. I ask after you both, and how I saw your in-laws. You apologise for being a cultural no-show. It's all right. Life gets busy. You don't have to go. We'll do something sometime, you suggest, before adding, if we're still alive, in jest. Your dark humour brings out a brief laugh, followed by an anxious face contorted. Oh my God, you exclaim quickly, in that rushed, hushed, excitable tone, as you point out the one masked stranger. We both know it's coming. A slow-motion wave will bring unseen danger to the heart of our city centre, to our world, our home. We say farewells, embrace, the last for so very long, and set off upon our individual paths, hoping it wouldn't be our last. At a tea-time press briefing, they announce it is advised that households should not mix. To beat the bug, we can all do our part. and so we reach the inevitable start. Lockdown will begin a week from now. I hope we shall all survive, get to grips with our new lives, and how to have more time to spend, and someday meet again, my friend. There you go. March seems a very long time ago.
I'm going to go now, Philip. That was lovely. Thank you.
Thank you,
Really
Jean.
enjoyed it.
Lovely to see
Whole
you
evening.
and the festive reindeer headgear.
Bye. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, Jean.
Merry Christmas, Jean.
Thank you.
That was lovely, Philip.
Oh, thank you very much.
Mm.
Okay, David, we're back with you for a second installment.
Right. This is another one from the same pilgrimage, the last leg, really. The extraordinary thing about walking in the paths of very ancient people is that you have an extraordinary feeling of time going back, of centuries. And Ninian, 6th century, was the first one to bring Christianity to these islands. He was even before Columba. And he set up his monastery in Whithorn, which is where the name comes from. It's called Candida Casa, which in Latin means White House, which is Whitharn, which is the Old English for Whithorn. And we walked on the last day from Isle of Whithorn across the cliffs to the cave on the beach, where it is said he used to go to pray, and other people went to as well. And that has been a place of pilgrimage down through the centuries. And this was what I was thinking as I was walking over very, very wind-swept cliffs. The wind was screaming off the sea, fortunately, so it was blowing us into the land rather than blowing us the other way, which could have been rather nasty. And it's simply called St. Ninian's Cave. A harbour, houses clustered on its quay, recedes from sight as we walk upwards. Two pilgrims treading a path hallowed by the centuries, trodden by saints and sinners, penitents and people seeking healing. Below our feet, the grass, the gorse, rough scrub that reaches clutching claws, gulls mew and wheel above our heads. Wind rips from off the sea, waves crash on jagged rocks, and placid cows look on, bemused, inscrutable, chewing cud reflectively. Did their forebears know St. Ninian? Did they feel his healing touch, his hand upon their necks? While musing thus, we see his cave, the blackness of its opening against the gold and brown and grey of the cliffs in which it's set. A place of peace, of contemplation, where we may stop with others, breathing in his legacy.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. Hazel, do you have another?
I do have another one. It's probably not terribly finished, but it kind of. I was really pleased that I'd done the workshop with you guys, with John Hegley.
Oh yeah.
I really enjoyed that. I think that was probably, it's not the first thing I've actually jumped in and joined Zoom, but I've been very, very resistant. It's sort of, and I'm so pleased that, you know, that kind of got me back into a connection, as it were. Anyway, and then from, obviously I did hope to come to the last one and didn't make it, but I think I got into an exchange of messages with you, Phil, and Jeanette after the workshop about being in John Hegley's bed. So I got round to writing that as a poem, which is kind of sort of in the style of John Hegley, but a bit lighter than the last one anyway. So it's in John Hegley's bed. Adventure from my poetic alter ego, Sprightly Golightly. I need you like a psycho needs a path, a quintessential line to hook the unwary into the sometimes scary world of quirky comedy and trickery. It was word magic at the aptly named Merlin Theatre that first time. Who does John Hegley think he is? Romping in the pyjama game. I never got to see him at the poetry tent at Glastonbury. Imagine my glee then to be sleeping in the same bed as he. Quite something to be in the same space as your admiree. Can I call him that legitimately? He and JCC, the iconic rock stars of poetry, which no doubt makes me an elderly poetry groupie. I can't tell you if he snored or stayed awake all night like his romantic predecessor, consumptive John Keats, for didn't I say we didn't occupy that bed at the same time? My host simply said, the last person to sleep here was John Hegley. We thought it would appeal to you to be sleeping in the same bed as John Hegley. Thank you.
Fantastic. Oh, that was great.
Cool.
Okay, we're with Roz. If you've got another one, Roz.
Nah, not really.
No. Well, that's all right.
I don't think I'll read that. Thank you.
Okay. Val, do you have another one?
Got one I wrote a while ago. It's called Sisters. It's about me and my sister having different personalities. If Roz don't mind me reading it. You all right with that, Roz? Sisters, we are different, you and I. We never do agree. It seems however hard I try, you don't see things like me. If I see a half-empty glass, you'll see one half full. You're an optimistic lass and I am just quite dull. I've always been the careful one, you've always liked to spend. No sooner got it than it's gone, but generous to the end. You're the one that has ideas, I've always followed you. You've often justified my fears with the things you make me do. We never see things quite the same, or from the same perspective. We always give each other the blame, our memories are selective. My life quietly bubbles by, like a firework, you fizz. We are different, you and I, that's just the way it is.
That's great. And something to...
I was waiting with bated breath to see what you were going to rhyme with different.
Yeah. Are you and Roz sisters? Are you and Roz sisters, Val?
Yeah.
She'll be on the phone to me in a minute.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Me and Susan are sisters too.
We are.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're both Smiths. That's a good one to remember, seeing as Christmas is coming up, and that's when relatives and siblings sometimes have differences of opinion. Yeah, very good. Cool. Ross, do you have another one?
Yeah, I've got another one, sort of similar to one of the ones that I did last time, and it was meant to be in a kind of similar fun vein, but ended up as kind of rumination on mortality and other morbid subjects, unfortunately. But yeah, it's called 8-Bit Boy. I'm an 8-bit boy by retro design. I wake up, I load up, eyes full of flashing lines. I'm opinionated and pixelated, invigorated, liberated, and often inappropriately very poorly animated. Between the wires, am I inspired? A random access memory is a thing of desire. I sound like a SID chip and I'm prone to crashing. I'm often reduced to badly digitized laughing. My processor is outdated. My style is off-slated. Wires on my tape deck can't get the hang of the internet. A day derailed by a syntax error or a ready, run ready is the noise, the terror. In amongst the confusion and compatibility issues, my tinny speakers still hear you say, I need you, I miss you. But I'm nestled uncomfortably between vintage and retro, left beyond the forbidden forest when Outrun went turbo. I was simulated by Mastertronic, stimulated by synth sonics. When hero was an acronym, my synonyms and homonyms were charged by basic, written in script. Took half an hour to load and still prone to glitch. Weaving hurricanes and turricans, and the last Ninja 2 threw the last of his shurikens aimed straight at you. I don't need a technician, nor prophet, nor priest. A fear found not least in the shadow of the beast. But you can cheat, pokes and peeks if you have the compulsion. You just get one chance, geek. There's no save game function. It's over now. I'm slowing. The screen scales to grey. My 48K just can't cut it these days. It's in me, just in me. Maybe in you too. Hit the space bar if you want to continue. Thank you.
Great stuff. That was good. Very good. Cool. Kevin, do you have another one, Kevin? Or
I've got poems, but they're downstairs, and it might take me a bit to find them.
Well, if you want, we can always go to Richard, and if you wanted to read something.
Yeah, okay. I'll go and get my folder.
Okay. We'll see you in a second. So, Richard.
Yeah, I actually, strangely, our kettle blew up yesterday, and it knocked all the electrics out, and we didn't realise. So when we put it on again, it blew all the circuits out again. And thinking about kettles and how important they are for making your cup of tea, I wrote this poem, and it's called "Put the Kettle On." Sadly today, we lost our kettle, but it didn't go without a fight. It's comprised of plastic and metal, and it blew out the Christmas lights. The phrase "put the kettle on" will make a cup of tea, then shortly we can relax. It was always meant to be. Devastation caused by the kettle, while water it's trying to boil. Sockets were blown, fuses won't settle. Nothing works, an evening to spoil. We went out and bought another. Let's hope it works as well. We will brew a beverage to hide that burning smell. It's a bit like losing a friend, our kettle. Electrical appliances just fail when they're not in fine fettle. It's so unwise to take chances. And that's it. It probably needs a little bit of tidying up, but I only wrote it this morning.
That was good. It also acts as a public safety announcement.
Absolutely, yeah. It's funny, you take them for granted, and when they're gone, you suddenly think, how am I going to boil water? And we thought, yeah, put a pan on the stove and things like that. It's more awkward.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, Jeanette, do you want to
looking for something?
Well, and then we'll come back and see if Kevin's found something. So we'll go to Jeanette.
Put this one together a couple of years ago, and I was a bit miffed with Christmas and where it's come. It wasn't like it was when I was a little girl in the 1970s with a nutcracker. Anyway, it's called Celebrations. A society of consumers brings celebratory days with expected merriment for customary ways. Pressure for enjoyment, disappointment hidden. Pleasing others, offend yourself, honesty forbidden. You may be in the wrong mood, not wanting fuss but rest. You need it to be perfect, but like most days, it's a test. It's the unplanned revelry, a laugh, a smile, kind ways. Unexpected moments that make truly special days. That's it, rant over.
Brilliant, yeah.
Thank you.
That's good. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, those little moments do make special days. Yeah. Fab. Thank you. Kevin, have you found something, Kevin?
Yeah, it's one of the my early ones, and it was done at one of at Sue's Tales from the Tea Room workshops, you know, and I started it there because it was about the key phrase was "I opened the door," and it's sort of it's kind of a extraordinary in a sort of sense, and I quite like looking through illustrations that I've done in the past years ago and finding sort of clues in them that relate to what this is. And anyway, I'll read it. Yeah, okay. I opened the door. Did you ring? Does it work? Damn thing. The 240, if I can. I missed the last. She's with her man. I saw him once. Can I come in? The pylon. Did you see it? You can't miss it. It's been there years. They're building another one, twice as high. If you must, I'll make a brew. 240? That's not long. When's it due? $240. That's what they said. Written here, all in red. Coming in. It's cold out there. Don't want it in. Margate, you say? By the sea? Went there once, fancy free. On my bike. What would you like? She's kicked me out. He's not the first. A betting man. Gets worse and worse. Got no coffee. Only tea. I'll make a brew. You and me. The pylon, when it's high, makes weird shadows in the sky. Margate, by the sea. Was it Morecambe? Mystery. Milk and sugar? Not for me. Your friend, 6:30? Will you wait? Better hurry. Got no cake. Thank you.
Very good, although I'm worried about them if there's no cake. Susan, do you have another one?
Yeah, this is another one from the writing exercises. So sorry, Ross, it's all old news for you. So this one's called Turning Point. Frost-rimed leaves and ice-cracked puddles locked in a world of mist gave way to fire-streaked trees in low slanting sun. The breath of the earth exhales, curling upwards as each tense and rigid leaf unbends and tears fall. This is the darkest hour, but the weak sun remains to keep our hope alive. The flames reach upwards, inwards, outwards, crawl up the trunk of me along naked scribbled fingers. I am a shadow cut against the dark. I'm full of light. I turn to face the year behind me and step back.
Fantastic. Halfway out of the dark. Good. Okay, it's time to check in with your sister, Fernando Smith.
Richard, I have a poem over there that I wrote some years ago called "A Short Conversation About Electrical Appliances." I think we could have a show here. And Jeanette, you said I was miffed at Christmas, and I said, so I've written, I was miffed at Christmas. It hadn't eaten its sprouts. It had left dishes on the side and forgot to buy batteries for the robot with laser eyes. And our Kevin cried all the way home to his nans. On a pink post-it.
That's brilliant.
Apparently, if you leave a drink out for Santa this year, you've got to put a substantial meal with it as well. So there's new rules.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been buying Scotch eggs in bulk.
Absolutely.
Here's a haiku that isn't a haiku because it doesn't follow the rules. And if you write a haiku that doesn't follow the rules, it can still be called a haiku, but it doesn't follow the rules. Called Football Dream, and it really happened. He passed me with ease. I could have stuck out a leg, but had not the heart to prevent such a beautiful goal. and here's what the real point. Oh, it's been a long day. I was on a meeting on Teams on something like this for like nearly 4 hours today. And so now I just feel daft. This is a serious poem. This is a serious poem. This is called Memories Destroy Me. And I always thought, if you could take a pill that makes you forget selective things, would you take it? And then you sort of think, well, that'd make you a different person. And then I think, oh, good. If I could take a pill that would make me select certain things I've lived, I'd take it. I see no reason for unnecessary pain or embarrassment. Memories destroy me. Memories are enemies. They beat the beast through a corridor in the night. Ask for forgiveness while reproaching your kindness. Kill you at every turn until your soul withers in the attrition of their testament. Memories are enemies, both a retreat and a victory, something better sketched than described. Locked out of the pantheon of legend, they exchange blows with your moments of ignorant happiness, rounding on the additions and subtractions of life, until your knees bleed, your ankles rankle, your age and rage from chasing the mercy of forgetting.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, pills to remember, pills to forget. I think it was Robin Williams. I remember seeing he was doing a routine. And he was saying when he was younger, they were all, everybody, doctors and that was saying, Robin, don't do drugs, don't do drugs. And he said, and then he got middle age and they say, you've got to take these drugs to stay alive. And he said his doctor turned into his dealer, and his doctor got him hooked on some particular prescription drug, and then he didn't have it anymore. And he's like, I got this new one, you've got to get hooked on this one now. It'll probably be on YouTube, so it was a good routine. Yeah, cool. Are we up for one more round, or do we want to? Yeah, okay. I said this last time, and then half a dozen people went, "Oh, I'm off. Bye-bye."
Well, I'm going to leave for now. See you on the next one.
They're dropping like flies, but good night.
That's fine. Thank you, Kevin.
Okay, thank you.
Brilliant value. Thank you.
Good to meet everyone.
Good to see you,
nice
man.
to meet you,
Take care.
Kevin.
Yeah.
I'm gonna head off as well. I'm tired from work, so it was good to. Sorry I was late, but it was really good to hear everybody, and it's good fun. And see my sister face to face again.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I'll see you all either tomorrow or at SpeakEasy or whenever. And if not, have a good Christmas.
Why, what's happening tomorrow?
Folk night.
Is that a virtual thing?
Yeah, it's Jean's Zoom folk night. So if you sing or play or just want to sit and listen, come along. She or someone will message you. Yes, Philip, I'm sure you can do the honors, can you?
Yeah, I can send you the link. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I will maybe see some people tomorrow. And if I don't see you tomorrow or later in the month for SpeakEasy, have a wonderful Christmas and bye-bye.
Yeah. Take care.
Good Christmas,
Merry
Susan.
Christmas.
Bye-bye.
I'm looking forward to the Christmas Day swim photos.
Well, there will be.
I just expect them. I'd be disappointed not to see them.
I think there's a whole Advent. I think they're doing the full 25 days. I think.
Are they?
No, but they should.
They should. Let's suggest it. Where's Jean?
I
Jean,
wouldn't
come
be
back.
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they.
Swimming with a different fish every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My money's on the sturgeon.
Oh dear.
Just leave the chips for me.
I'll hold the towels.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found a poem that I wrote. It could be a poem you've never heard before. But it's not very good. But, you know.
Pick it up for us then.
I've lost it. Where's it gone? Oh. I found it. Don't worry, I found it. Right. We don't have any of the recycling bins at home. We have a little black bin, and we take all our recycling to the big bins that are in a car park in town. And it's great because people dump all sorts of stuff at these bins. I'm forever coming home with stuff. Mum's like, oh God, what have you pulled out the bins now? You're an embarrassment. But I went down one day and there was a toolbox, and it was obviously some old fella's toolbox, and it was obviously no longer wanted, and it had just been unceremoniously dumped next to one of the dustbins. And then along came me. Little jackpot. It was like, yes, it's such a cool toolbox. It's got these really cool tools in it. Anyhow, dumped next to the bins, not shiny enough to keep. Old man's toolbox, heavy and solid. My paper and bottles binned, the toolbox rescued. Tools of yesteryear, Whitworths, across flat spanners, tubular wrench set. 3 pairs of pliers, Germany 1960s, Fulcrum's type, no play. A jackpot for me, quality pliers, good ones, a wire sculptor's dream. Dumped next to the bins, and shiny enough to keep, an old man's toolbox. And that's it. Thank you very much, Lee.
That's great. And it was sort of recycling, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, really good toolbox, though. You can stand on it. It's like proper metal. And I think it's actually a metal box one from Carlisle.
Oh, yeah, from the front.
Yeah, but it's ancient old. And all the tools were engraved with his name. I can't remember his name, but they've all got his name engraved on them. And I was thinking, God, a legacy, just dumped next to the bins. Yeah. So, but I'm set up for when I get my classic motorbike where I need Whitworth spanners.
Oh, yeah, brilliant.
So cool.
I have a sense that you're the go-to person for a conversation about galvanized metal and boxwood handles.
Oh God, aye, definitely. I was watching a very interesting program last night about what was it? Hydrogen embrittlement in bolts.
Yeah, there's a lot of it about at the minute.
I tell you, it was £6 million they had to spend on a new skyscraper in London because their bolts were suffering from hydrogen embrittlement. And a bolt falling from the top would have killed a person. They just break in half and drop out the girders. So fascinating.
Yeah,
it kept me awake.
This is going to turn into an episode of Ripping Yarns.
Yeah, long ago it became that.
The hand. That scared the life out of me, Ripping Yarns. Michael Palin's got a lot to answer for.
Yeah, he seems so innocent, but yeah.
He does. I think it's the one where they threw him on the compost heap. I never really got over that. I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to turn my mic back off. Here I go. Bye.
Welcome to Poets Say the Strangest Things. Cool. All right. Well, yeah, Susan was saying about Gene Hill's folk experience thing, and I I tune in just to support them, and then they go, "You sing a song." I don't know any folk songs, so I'll pass off 60s pop songs as folk songs. I go, "The Beatles, they're a folk band. They did a ballad called The Ballad of John and Yoko," which means all of their stuff is their
It's
fault.
people's music.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I got Bob Dylan and I got the Beatles, and
I like the modern folk songs, Neil. I am a computer programmer from Charlie Milton Keynes, Newtown.
I did a version of Jerry Rafferty's Baker Street where I didn't have a saxophone, so I used my kazoo for the saxophone solo.
Do we need to hear this?
No.
Oh, okay. Haven't heard a kazoo since the last carnival.
Oh well. That's all you're getting.
How can you not smile at a kazoo?
I know.
My dogs have freaked out.
Sorry.
It's like the line from a Robin Hitchcock song about Ole Tarantula, about the joys of the tarantula. And he says, if he don't please you, then you just can't be pleased.
Something in there, yeah. So anyway, they do all these old timey songs and things, and I came up with my own version, and it's called Two Birds, and it goes a bit like this. In the back of 42, old Jim died, left a sleeping lassie lying by his side. Come in the morning light, she got an awful fright. She leapt out of the bed terrified, her sea-green eyes now open wide. To see him stiffen as a plank, stone-cold sober, quick as brandy drank. A princely puzzle to solve this were, could not be found her lover there. Too kindly of it he would not think, a soldier husband who liked to drink. Due that morrow home on leave, no time to lose, nor to grieve. On with his breeches, on with his boots, a mind racing through ditches and planning her routes. From the small homestead, she'd carry the dead up onto the fell side. Would it look like a suicide? She hoped her good fortune could improve and turn her luck good. She looked to the heavens in dismay at her fate. Through the little glass pane spied the old mine for slate. If he fell down that big tunnel, she'd get home on the double, in time to make everything spick and span, for the return of her soldier boy now turned into a man. She pulled on her garments, she laced up her dress, she finalized her arrangements, she tidied the mess of two lovers' leftovers and started maneuvers. The body she managed to heave up on her back and then to leave. Slowly edging out into the sun, she strode up to the fell and a climb up begun. Scrabbling over every rock and each chipping, her heart was like a drum beating and skipping. A buzzard circled as the sun burst over the rise. She kept on pushing on, averting her eyes from the witness to her deed. No help in her hour of need. For 24 minutes she'd lumbered up the path, before to the old mine she stumbled over by the shaft. She took one last look over Jim and kissed his lips before she tossed him in. She sighed a deep breath and let out a little cry. With hands upon her hips she asked, why did he have to die? The lassie took a step to beside a 6-foot stone, but leant against it, dislodging it from its home. Crash, bang, tumble, tumble, the valley birthed a terrible rumble. Green Eyes watched the rock sail away, and noticed a figure approach the homestead on his holiday. Further and further rolled the wildly spinning boulder, until it finally stopped with a crunch atop the returning soldier. Well, thought the girl, 2 birds, 1 stone, a husband dispatched, all on her own. It occurred to her, if his body was took up by the mine, and if there he too were hid, she might receive a war widow's pension in time. So this is what she did. And that's that. And that's an example of what doesn't happen at the folk nights.
Gonna have to come to one of these folk nights.
All right. Okie dokie. Hazel, follow that if you dare. I think you're on mute, Hazel. Hang on.
Although I don't know, it's probably a good thing just to leave it, is it not? Anyway, this one I actually wrote. You know, the Borderlines competition was on the theme of hope. So seeing as how poem didn't get placed, but it was fun to write it anyway. So I called this Haversack of Healing. Hope is a haversack of healing for humanity, sustaining our search for new ways of being, of caring for our world and for each other. It contains a blanket stitched with wise discernment, wrapping us in love's warmth to counteract the frozen wastes of fake news and fury. A bottle distilled from sweet joy, quenching our thirsty spirits as we traverse the deserts of hatred created by influencers and far-right infiltrators. A salve of wild future promise, restoring our bruised activist hearts to the scandalous optimism required to extinguish the blaze of blinkered capitalism, fueled by lack of accountability and refusal to countenance that consumerism drives the looting and polluting of ecosystems worldwide. Economies are irrelevant without a hospitable habitat. We delve deep for a bright torch of courage to light our way through the labyrinth of despair, pairing illumination with a celestial compass to navigate our soul maps to awakening. That's it.
That was great. Yeah. Oh. That says it all, really. That was great. Fantastic. Val, do you have another one, Val?
I've got one that I wrote around Halloween, actually, and never read. When I moved in this house, it was just after somebody had died, and there was like some quite strange things happened for a while. So this is called Poltergeist. You don't like me moving into your house, removing your wallpaper, obliterating your lifetime of memories. You seem to forget you are supposed to be dead. This is my house now. So don't throw my stuff onto the floor. Leave my kids' toys on the shelf and the baubles on the Christmas tree. And why do you think that I need you going round, pulling out all of my plugs? You just want my attention. I know you are there, stopping and starting the clock, making my music suddenly slow down, ringing my doorbell when there's nobody there, and cutting off the phone. You think that you'll scare me. Well, I am still here. My children have all grown up. I've made my own lifetime of memories. And if I die here, it will be my turn to hang around and move stuff about. I think I'm completely nuts now, but there you go.
I'm waiting for everything to start flying around in the house.
It really was quite strange, the things that seemed to happen.
Yeah.
And then it just all stopped.
Oh, right. I wonder why it stopped so suddenly.
I don't know. It stopped after my daughter left home, actually. I'm sure she's slightly spooky.
Ah. No connection there whatsoever. All right, then. Ross, have you got another?
Yeah, I've got one that I've been working on. It's for the same exercise from the writing group that Susan did before. So it's kind of a work in progress. I'm not really happy with it, but I'll bat it on. Anyway, it's also called The Turning Point. Rewind back to the beginning of a grimy VHS tape. I could wake up and it's an inordinately clean slate. It's okay to cheat. I'm a man. I'm winning. It's fun. It's with the boys. Who cares if it's sinning? Who wears the trousers and who allows her to get in the way when you want to get laid? You must be crazy, son. Either that or you're gay. And you remember the silence, the tears, the sobs, the empty bottles of wine discarded in the shrubs, the cause, the effect, the inability to articulate. Okay then, you just couldn't concentrate. You were drunk, you were bladdered, but now you can. It all seems to be about being a man. But being a man isn't what it used to be. It's the turning point, a burning point. Fahrenheit 453. Men used to be like Napoleon and Hitler and Stalin and Churchill, like he was any better. So who you choose is important, and the choice is with you. You are the constant. Remember, it's true. The turning point is a learning point, and you are the cue. So, thank you.
That was really good.
It's a bit grim. Sorry about that. Should have done the happy one last time.
No. We like the grimness. Yeah, that was good. Yeah. Choices with you. Frank, yeah, wise word. Richard.
Yeah, I've got one that's fairly recent, and it's just based on the old quack medicine sellers you used to get in the Wild West off the back of a wagon. And they used to, mix up potions and sell them as curing everything. So it's called Brown Nostrum, which is a cure-all thing. It's in the sort of form of a limerick, I suppose. Here's something for the discerning gentlefolk, the sort of chap that likes to tell a joke. It's been patented for sure, and it promises you a cure and a warm sensation it'll evoke. I tried to engineer it to be quite clear, but it didn't turn out like that, I fear. It seemed to stay muddy brown. So close your eyes and drink it down, that liquid that is my panacea. I can't tell you what's in it, the secret I'd spoil, but rest assured it's better than snake oil. $1 buys a flagon from the back of my old wagon. So many customers, they're all loyal. The luscious brown nostrum helps eyesight and your tum, skin, hair, teeth, and gum, and stops you feeling glum. So roll up and pay the sum. Come, you sick or maimed, come. Despite it being brown, pay up, don't be a clown. Drink deep and swallow down. Tomorrow, I leave town. So far, I've never had a single complaint. They say it looks and smells like dirty paint. Those who pay on the nail get problems solved without fail, for soon they die or fall into a faint. Yeah.
I bet it doesn't have to be stored at 70 degrees.
No, that is the one advantage, and it does cure coronavirus as well.
Oh.
Supposedly.
Good. Fantastic. Well, we can trust you because you're a doctor.
Yeah.
All right then. Jeanette.
Okay, I'm keeping with the Christmas theme. I've got a little haiku. Fixing paper chains, connecting and adhering with goodwill and hope.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. That was good. Oh, yeah, I like these Christmas haikus. They're good. Do you have another Christmas haiku, Jeanette? Just put you on the spot. Put you on mute. You're doing loads of them. We can't hear them.
Yeah, I've just read 6. Did you not get them?
They were great, yeah.
No, I haven't got another Christmas one. I've got one about a pint of Guinness. Will that do?
That would be, that's, yeah, that, yes.
The surge and settle, 120 seconds, pint of perfection.
Oh, good, good, good.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Love that.
It was written out of one of me very few nights out this year.
Yeah, the people really treasure if they have a night out, you know, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, it
wow.
really does make you zoom into a moment.
Yeah. Oh, that was great. Have you got one more haiku?
What have I got? I've got a loon, and I can't remember what the format was for that, but I had to go. It's a northern loon, and it's somewhere between maudlin and mirth, a northern touch. And that's it.
Oh, fab. That was great. Cool. Oh, well, thank you very much. And Fernando Smith, what have you got for us?
This is called The Bridge, and it happened as I saw it, I witnessed it. It was, they stood in silhouette on the bridge to the dunes, beneath the West African moon, close, so his shoulder touched his shoulder as they regarded the moon, waiting for the sign that would inform their first kiss. The other man, him, he, a man wore a light beard, and the first man wondered what technique was required to breach the tough fuzz with his tongue. He needn't have concerned himself, as the man, him, he, claimed a hold of the first man's jaw with a firmness he had never known before, and kissed his mouth in a most masculine way, his tongue useful, cast like a wrench from his toolkit, yet soft as holding his father's hand in the park. And he, himself, was kissed, received a kiss, allowed his own self a slight faint as he accepted the choreography of the moment, delivered deliberately, heady, under a West African moon.
That was fantastic. Wow, well done. Brilliant. Love that.
Wow. And there was Annie liked it as well because there was mention of a toolkit.
That's what I thought.
I
know my audience. Just playing to the crowd.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. Annie, do you have another one, Annie?
Yeah, I've actually found a haiku. In fact, I found two, but one's not that brill. And I've got a really short one that's just more of a thought. I'll do the haiku first.
Cool.
They say dogs don't dream. So what is this joy he shows? Surely he's dreaming. And the other one was, oh, you like that? Thank you.
Yeah.
The other one was, dogs doze and I sit. His tap taps enhance the peace. Defense shields lowered.
Oh, great.
And if I can get this wretched phone to go, where's it gone? This is just a muse that I had. It's one of those days when you've got really high clouds, but then you get low clouds skimming underneath them. When a low cloud passes under a high cloud, I think I could reach it from the top of the tree. I could reach it from the top of the tree, let it split and divide and eddy and whirl and swirl back together through my outstretched fingers. That's it.
Wow. Brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And thank you everybody. That was great. I think it's been a wonderful night. So yeah, give yourselves a round of applause, everyone who read.
Whatever. Yeah.
And everyone who listened.
Yeah.
Everyone who left before the end. And everyone who stayed.
At the end, yeah.
And one for Phil.
Yeah, well done, Phil, for running
thank you very much. And one for Annie for starting this Poets Out Loud shenanigans going in the real world a long time ago. Woo. It's good to have you back.
I'm not sure what we're going to do when all the lockdown things have finished and groups can start up, because I don't work at the bistro anymore, and I did leave abruptly.
Oh.
So
okay.
Okay. But then again, I think it'd be fine. It was my choice to go, and I will at some point catch up with Manon and say, "Hey, it's all over. Can poets come back?" Like, be dead cool. And she'll either go, "No," or she'll go, "Of course you can. Where have you been? Come back and work for me." And I'll go, "No." But but anyhow, it's a long way off. So, and I've got a new job, which is great because I work from home now. So,
with your other jobs, you let us come round to where you used to work, so we'll have to come round to your house and...
Yeah, actually, no, I can't because of the job I do. Whoa.
Secret agent, eh?
Yeah. It's all kind of
hush hush.
Yeah. Before I turned the camera on tonight, I just had to have a quick scout round and make sure that
your cameras were hidden away. I know.
Yeah, the badge.
The badge, yeah. The torch.
The only thing you can see is the headset. So, because I couldn't be bothered to faff on with my speakers.
That's like what Phil and me do. Like later on, we'll be there on the bed with our headsets on.
Really?
Making strange requests and getting paid by the minute.
Yeah.
I don't intend to come out of lockdown. I think we should all be like found in 40 years' time, like so.
Mummified in your own bedclothes, probably. Yeah.
I like those soldiers.
I've been guarding the coal shuttle for the last 40 years. No one's come near it.
No one's getting near it.
Yeah. I was thinking, have any of you ever heard the annual 500 words competition that Radio 2 do, where kids write these 5? There was one a couple of years ago, and I wish I could find it. And this young writer, she'd written a story about a future when nobody left their houses, and she used to sneak out at night to go running, and she had these really tatty old shoes, but she used to sneak out, but it was really bad. You shouldn't have ever gone out your door, and she'd run through the fields and blah blah blah. And one day she got back, and a boy had messaged, "You need new shoes." And it was because she'd been seen. And I just keep thinking, oh my God, we're really close to this now.
Yeah. The only difference is you don't need new shoes because nobody will see you. You don't care.
Well, that's it. Well, you can't get them anyhow. They're always a size too small when they come from Amazon.
Why don't we reveal what we're wearing footwear-wise now? Right now. Let me see.
Maybe old slippers.
I've got socks and sandals.
Oh no!
Old crumbling slippers.
I got bare feet.
Oh,
great!
I can't get my camera. I'm gonna just. There we go. Socks and sandals with pink toes. Because
Actually, I just thought then there could have been a double amputee in the room, and it would have got really bad.
That wouldn't have gone down too well. No.
That happened to me once. I went on an evening class years ago, a drama evening class, and you had to come up with a little sort of short story that you all had to allocate characters to. And I remember a poem my dad taught me when I was a kid that had a sailor with a worm in his wooden leg at the end of it. And I said, and you can be the sailor with a worm in his wooden leg. And blow me if this bloke didn't take his leg off, and I didn't know. Reader, I nearly died.
Yeah. Poor old Worm
That's
wasn't
taking
much
method
better
acting to
either.
an extreme, is that?
Yeah.
Stanislavski would have been proud of him.
Oh, that's so funny.
Good.
Actually, there is on Facebook Marketplace at the moment advertised. There is, it's advertised as a stocking filler, and it's a prosthetic lower
Prosthetic
leg.
leg.
And I was just like, oh, it's so good. That is such a good.
Yeah.
I had
It's
my
a
right
really
arm
nice
taken off
one.
years ago, and my whole guitar act was based on I was the one-armed guitarist, and I made a fortune out of that on the piers
Yeah,
and promenades.
We've got one. We've got a one-armed
it
guitarist.
was, but with the advance in modern prosthetics, it ruined my career.
You know, we've got a one-armed guy in Cockermouth that plays guitar.
How's he do that? What's he do?
He plays on the frets.
Oh yeah.
He had a motorbike crash and he ended up, he's paralysed. He's in a band. He's an amazing guitar player, but he plays electric guitar, and he just plays on the frets.
Yeah.
He doesn't, obviously can't strum it because one arm doesn't work. But you name it and he'll just play it.
Just think how satisfied people are going to be tonight going home. Well, going to the next room, realizing that I could go to bed satisfied that I've heard about one-arm guitarists, advancements in prosthetics. I've shown my slippers off. Like, it doesn't get better than this, does it? You know, this is English surrealism at its very best. All we need now is Ivor Cutler, and we've made it.
That's wonderful.
Anyway, a wonderful Christmas, anyone I don't see before.
Have a lovely time.
Yes.
Next speakeasies, Phil.
We might squeeze a speakeasy in on the 23rd.
Christmas Eve.
Might be all right.
No one's going anywhere.
Christmas Eve, Christmas.
I
We need
might
an
be
excuse to get away from whatever in-laws have come in.
I might be working, but I finish at 8. I am.
All right.
I haven't got our Christmas shifts yet.
Okay. You nearly said where that was, but
Take care, one and all. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
See you,
Take care.
Richard.
Have a safe trip home. I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Phil.
I'm going to head off as well, guys. If I don't see you, have a very nice Christmas, everyone.
And you,
You
Brilliant.
too, Ross. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks all. It's been a great evening. Maybe see you before Christmas then. Hiya and bye.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.